You're live.
This looks like an episode of Game of Thrones with the Starbucks cup right there in the middle.
Intro song.
I say whiskey, you say wagers. Whiskey.
Wages.
Whiskey.
Wages.
Let's
doing
go.
that. Hey, you.
Let's go.
I'm not doing that.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Looks like we got a viewer in the YouTube.
Whoop, whoop.
This is we don't usually come out with stuff midweek on a Thursday like this, but we got some new equipment.
Feeling frisky.
We're feeling frisky. We got new mics. We're just feeling fresh.
Oh, yeah.
And we got another person in the studio that we've had before. You
Hello,
can see his beautiful moneymaker now.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matthew Foster.
Hey, diddly-o there, neighbors.
Yeah, man. Glad to have you back. It was
Glad
a
to be
killer
back.
show. If you guys remember, we had Matt on Stone Cold Stunner.
Oh, yeah.
Stone Cold Stunner. That was a great episode.
Your ass cheeks been vibrating ever
Yeah.
since, haven't they?
Absolutely.
Good for you.
Feels like road rash
Wow.
all the time.
Still.
No.
Still. But our focus, we wanted to come in midweek with football coming up. Hit some football, hit some fantasy football. We got to talk about Andrew Luck thing. I have like a giant rant that I'm going to get into on that. But
Dude, I was in shock when I saw that.
what are your guys' initial reactions?
I took the biggest shot of whiskey I've ever taken in my life. I was so happy.
I was good and drunk with Luke at his house that night. And I was talking to a buddy of mine on the phone. We were trying to get him to come over to Luke's old drunk dial.
Mm.
And he's a Patriots fan, of course.
Oh God, you're
So-
friends with him?
Yes, I am friends with him. So I'm talking to him on the phone. My phone starts blowing up. Went.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, something terrible has happened, right? At first, I thought it was in like a group chat.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, who in the? So I look at it. And I'm like, oh no. I said, Kenny, hold on. So I like pull up ESPN. I'm like, this can't be real. There's no way.
Yeah, you called me at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
I missed it, but
Well, you sent me a prompt text. If this
I
is
did.
about Andrew Luck.
I was like, if this is the Luck thing,
I'm
aware.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
called me too. I just ignored it.
I shouldn't. I don't know why I called you. You're a Texans fan. You would just give me
Dude,
a
I was
bunch of
so
shit.
you know what though? Like I never get to enjoy those moments as a Texans fan because immediately following all of that, Lamar Miller got hurt.
Right.
And I was like, well, that was short lived.
There you go.
Now I'm drinking because I'm sad.
Hey,
Well,
but
tit for tat.
and you have Duke Johnson, which is
yeah,
fine.
it's
Hey,
not terrible.
I think he's
but-
gonna be good. I like Duke Johnson.
He's
Catch a
not
lot of
Lamar
balls out of
Miller.
the backfield.
Yeah, which is really what they need. That's
Great.
Lamar Miller's
I think he's
biggest
that was
upside.
a really good pickup for them.
Oh yeah, and they've got another running back. I can't remember his name right now. I haven't really seen much of him though.
Yeah,
We'll see. That might play out too.
yeah, we'll see what happens.
They worst case scenario, they go to Buffalo and get one of those 45 fucking old ass
God,
running
no
backs.
kidding.
Speaking of Buffalo, one of my late like flyers, if you're gonna take a flyer, is Singletary.
Dude, I agree.
Alright.
Other than the fact
about
that he
it.
has to share the ball so much, like LaShawn McCoy and Frank Gore are definitely not going to get used a lot
I agree.
because they're
Like,
old.
Right.
People think that like they're living in the past because like Frank Gore's not gonna get a lot of carries at all.
But he's
really
still a
not.
good back. Even last year, he wasn't terrible. in
TJ
Miami.
Yeldon not going to get a lot of carries. Marshawn Coy not going to get a lot of carries. It's going to definitely be a committee approach, but I could easily see
Yeah,
Singletary
Singletary's going to be the
taking
guy.
the RB1. Fresh legs, rookie.
He might get robbed of some touchdowns because
for
Frank
sure.
Gore and LaShawn McCoy are crazy
You
got
good on
those
the goal
power
line.
backs.
But
Well, if lucky you're in a draft where you have a bunch of guys that are just name drafters.
oh yeah,
That'll take the Frank Gore.
I like to call
and
those the
LaShawn.
brand drafters.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Frank Gore shouldn't even get drafted.
He hasn't.
You should not.
Either
wouldn't
of my
take
drafts,
him.
he not
Yeah, I
getting.
wouldn't
Yeah, you
take
should.
him.
LaShawn McCoy did in both of my drafts get taken, but late. We're talking 13.
Shit, I don't know.
Yeah,
Between the
yeah.
two of them,
Which is okay.
I might
I
go
can
Frank
handle
Gore
that.
first.
He's a flyer
Yeah.
still at this point.
Hey,
he
and
still is a flyer.
if he's able to turn it on this season, you got him in the 13th round. Cool.
Right.
Yeah,
Good for you.
Why not?
Yeah.
Singletary gets hurt.
Yeah, because there's a big drop off
I
at
mean,
running backs after a certain point. There's a
Absolutely.
dead
Dude,
zone.
it's when you get right to like the rank of 50, right at Marlon Mack, and that's where I see the drop off on all the mocks I've done. Like Marlon Mack, Tariq Cohen, and then there's that drop.
So I
where it
know,
gets,
like
yeah.
Latavius
we've
Murray
talked
type
about,
shit.
like
Yeah,
the
for
Andrew
sure.
Luck thing wasn't necessarily a huge problem because he's been hurt and a lot of people were drafting him late anyways. But I think the biggest downside is like Eric Ebron and T.Y. Hilton. Those guys, their stock had to go down. But if there's a Colts player that got better, it was Marlon Mack.
Sure. I'm not so worried about Ebron because, he's been Jacoby's been taking all the number one snaps all season.
Sure.
This is his second year.
And he likes Ebron.
And what better safety net does a quarterback have than a tight end?
A big
Dude,
tight
it's
end.
crazy.
Right.
When
He's
I
got
did,
3 of them.
I
Yeah.
did Whitehouse's fantasy draft for him. Nobody drafted Ebron. I already
He went
had it.
undrafted?
Yeah, nobody picked
wow.
him up.
What?
I already
I
had,
can't see that, but
I had drafted him a good tight end. I got him Hunter Henry.
Yeah,
and-
that's strong.
yeah, that's
Take
a
him.
good one.
and one of the players that when healthy that I think is going to be good if he stays healthy, but I honestly don't think he will again is Jordan Reed.
Yeah.
Dude,
he went
he's so
he went
good
really
when he's
he's-
healthy.
he went really late in our draft.
He
I ended
goes
up
late.
the draft I did last weekend. I ended up with Vance McDonald from Pittsburgh and Austin Hooper.
No, they're both good.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
they're
they're
good.
both top 15 tight ends, but the drop off on tight end is always huge. I mean you know like Zach Ertz and
Yeah.
There's 4 like top tier tight ends.
right
You have
Travis Kelce.
Kelsey,
Kittle,
Kittle,
Ertz.
Ertz, and OJ Howard and Ingram.
Yeah.
That's like the top 5.
Yeah, but then it's a pretty big fall from there. I mean historically always is tight end. You get 3 that are incredible. And then the rest is like whatever. But if I can get 10 points out of my tight end, that's a win.
But there's
That's
always
fucking
one
great.
like a David Njoku that just breaks out, right?
yeah, he went really
Dude,
late in our draft
somebody
too.
will.
I'm curious to see how that plays out.
He'll be good. I'm
Like
not worried.
with him, he's an athletic freak, but now Cleveland has so many weapons, but at the same time that can have another effect, like where
Sure.
it does open him up.
Yeah.
But there's just a
Absolutely.
lot of mouths to feed in that offense, dude.
Same
There's
thing.
so many.
Atlanta's got the same problem.
And you
have a
know,
lot of-
like-
on a smaller scale in Atlanta.
sure,
because
not quite as many,
yeah,
but
they don't have a Jarvis Landry, but they do have. And I'll tell you what, I am so high on the Falcons this year. Let me tell you why. When Matt Ryan plays indoors, his numbers
incredible.
are elite. You following me?
yeah.
So they only have 4 outdoor games this year.
And I mean, even if you
incredible.
look at injuries, Julio Jones is easily one of the best receivers in the
Sure.
league if he can stay healthy.
His only problem
Muhammad
Doesn't
Sanu
get-
is another
doesn't get
good wide
touchdowns.
he
receiver.
doesn't score touchdowns. That's exactly
Yeah.
right.
Touchdowns,
I think
bro.
Sanu is a really good quarterback or wide receiver too that
Yeah.
kind of gets underplayed just because they spread the ball around so much.
I'd rather have
Ridley's gonna way replace Muhammad Sanu.
Oh,
this
yeah.
year.
Bingo Ringo. I would.
Ridley's the number 2 there, easy.
Yeah.
I've taken Calvin Ridley in both of my leagues.
Yeah, he went pretty
Wait a
early in
second.
ours.
In one of my leagues for sure. I don't know about the other one. But
Well,
yeah,
there's
I'm
a lot
so
of
pumped about
there's a
Calvin Ridley.
lot of good wide receivers this year. I'm curious to see how that plays out with
Yeah.
drafting because there's a big fall off with running
Sure.
backs.
Yeah, ordinarily, I am so strict about running back.
Yeah,
Go get
Right,
it.
me too.
This
But
year,
now, yeah, with like DeAndre Hopkins and some of those
this year I
guys,
went receiver.
Dude,
Oh, wow.
receivers are. You can get so many. Like, there's so many that
You just
end
can't
up
get-
showing out.
there just
like,
aren't that many elite wide receivers like there have been.
No, but
I
there's
think there's more than.
I mean, I was able to get DeAndre Hopkins and Tyreek Hill in both of my leagues.
that's incredible.
yeah. And then my running backs are like Kerryon Johnson, Leonard Fournette. Because after those top 3 guys
Yeah, it's a big fall.
at running back, huge drop up. And in my opinion, if you take out like the question marks at Melvin Gordon and Zeke, take those out of the equation
I-
entirely. Hold on, take them out entirely. Those other guys from 4 to 15 are the same to me. In
Number
terms
wise,
of
yeah, they
production.
pretty much
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
I read
Sorry, I was doing
something
big
that.
hands. I didn't mean to.
Hey, we got the camera now. They
Oh,
can see your
hey.
big hands.
Big hands.
shout out
I
to
read-
Eric Owens real quick, the dude that watched our entire last podcast. He's back.
Nice.
So
Oh, welcome, man.
shout out.
So
to
you don't have
bro.
any friends, right? No,
No,
I'm
he's
just
got-
kidding.
he's got 3 now.
No, we
Father.
appreciate the fans. No, I read something interesting because Melvin Gordon's still holding out on his contract.
Yeah.
Houston pitched him a
Mhm.
deal.
Oh, did that?
That would be
I heard that.
curious
Hear that.
play.
Just like the Colts are trying to get Brock Osweiler
Oh,
back up.
You know what we
obviously
call-
he's a
you know-
back
Colin
you know what we
Kaepernick,
call him in my
too.
house? We call him Cockswaller.
Cockswaller.
He sucks.
I like that.
I heard the Colin Kaepernick said something to the Colts too. I mean, they'll never do
He's
that,
not
but
good. And it's nothing political whatsoever.
yeah,
Colin
right,
Kaepernick.
right.
He's just I just don't
purely
think he's
based
very
on
good.
his statistics. He's
Hasn't played in 4 years. Fuck
Yeah,
out
but
of here with
maybe
Cap.
maybe that's a good
Thank
thing.
No, it's not. It's not. I'm sorry.
I've always been a fan of Kaepernick.
quarterback needs reps.
Political issues aside. I mean,
And
I'm
Well, you're a
pro his
cornrow
political
guy.
issues.
You're an
Like-
Afro guy.
His top year, he threw for 3,300 yards. Brissett can do that.
Woo,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
And now the Brissett again has been in this system. This is his second year.
Yeah.
Again, he took all the 1 snaps in the whole
preseason.
off season.
I
He's ready
think
to go.
What Cap should have done is, like, I know he wanted the starting position, but if he would have taken that backup role, I think he could have easily got his weight back
know,
into the starting role, and
I
he'd
think
still be playing.
He should have taken the backup role in Jacksonville like 3 years ago.
He'd easily be
that would've been-
starting
He would
there,
have started.
Brissett.
He would have started there 2 years ago.
tearing it
Yeah.
up probably at this point.
He saw cool runnings too many times. He'd look in the mirror and say, "I see pride, I see power," and it got him out of the league.
But
It's just hard to see
man.
all those offers, while he was down on one knee.
Quit, man. I said no,
I-
political.
I honestly, like, from a political standpoint, I was always about his stance. I thought it was great.
sure,
It got really twisted in the media, but I was always a Kaepernick fan in that regard.
So I saw something regarding. Let's go back to the Andrew Luck thing
Sure,
for a minute and the Jacoby Brissett deal. Something really cool. Did you heard Frank Reich's presser regarding Jacoby
Yeah.
Brissett? So I looked back, or I stumbled upon it. I wasn't looking for it. In 1999, head coach of the St. Louis Rams, Dick Vermeil. They lost Trent Green to injury, and he was their big
That
decorated
was
quarterback
yeah,
at the
that was
time.
guy.
And he said, "You know what? I'm not worried. We're going to put this kid in, Kurt Warner. He's going to be great." And what happened? They won a Super Bowl that
Yeah,
year.
Tom Brady,
And
similar situation.
Dick Vermeil almost gave the exact same speech that Frank Reich delivered a couple days
He
ago.
plagiarized it.
You mean?
I mean,
you
other
mean
way, yeah, yeah.
Right,
My fault.
right
My
took
fault,
his.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's happened before. Look at Roethlisberger did the same thing. He was drafted late and came in as a backup and took him to the fucking Super Bowl that year.
Sure.
Brady was what?
I don't give a shit where you were drafted. It means nothing.
It means a little
Look at
bit.
Tom Brady.
It
Why?
means a little
Why?
bit.
What does it matter?
I
mean-
don't think it matters at all.
It only matters as far
So
as how much
many
you get
first
paid early on.
round, so many
I think-
first round
I think-
picks like fall out.
I think more than where your draft position
Quarterback
was,
especially.
it's opportunity. If you're drafted higher, your opportunity is going to be greater.
But I just don't care. I don't.
And that's okay. You don't have to care.
It may like.
I mean, that's just. I think that's the only factor that really matters is if you drafted in the first 4 rounds, the inclination for that franchise to play you is much higher because they're paying you more.
And I think really Jacoby's in a perfect situation for this, under the perfect coach for this,
Because the expectation is low too.
well, not necessarily that. It was super high, but now it's been
It's
tapered.
mediated. I mean, that makes a difference.
Well,
if you're
my point is that he's
playing on
paired
that
up
level.
with Frank Reich, who was in this exact same situation with Jim Kelly in Buffalo, who knows how to communicate with the backup quarterback stepping into the starting role better than Frank Reich.
sure, the transition's easier.
Yeah. He knows
Absolutely.
he knows how to
Coaches-
communicate. He
Coaches
knows
make a
what-
big difference in the NFL.
I think
Yeah,
he'll
no
be pretty serviceable, but he's not going to be.
I'm going to put him top 20 quarterback
he's
in the
not-
league.
He's not going to be a. I don't know.
I could see top 20, like 17,
I mean,
18, somewhere in there.
top 20. If he's at like 19, 20, then there's only 32 teams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably. Around 20 would be fair.
But the other 31 were named starters going into the season.
I'll tell you who
Yeah.
I'm really interested quarterback to
He
watch
could-
this year is Kyler Murray. I
Yeah.
don't.
It's a
I think the
first
hype
overall
is higher
pick.
than it's going to be, but I don't think he's going to do that well right out of the gate. But I'm curious to watch his career develop.
Yeah, I'm just happy to see the show.
Yeah,
because
well, yeah.
it's a show to me.
anymore,
It's an entertainment.
Sure. I mean, just
Even-
him and his story in general.
Oh
like
yeah.
anymore. It feels like the league has shifted to the smaller, more not necessarily run first, but the mobile quarterback. Like those
You
dudes
guys
are
have options.
definitely succeeding more than they used to than the traditional drop back
Oh,
quarterback.
yeah. Look at Michael Vick when he
But
started doing all that. Was
I'll
wild.
tell you who like
Best
I
quarterback of all
don't
time.
think the mobile quarterback I don't think is going to be good, and some people are really high on him. I don't like Lamar Jackson at all.
I'm not a big fan either.
He turns the ball over way too much.
Yeah,
and
he makes poor choices.
whatever, like teams are going to have the film on him now, and he's going to have to rely on his arm. And I don't think he's a great passer at all.
Is he going to be RG3 2?
Maybe not. Maybe
Maybe
not
without
that
the one
bad.
on me.
But
Yeah, maybe.
if it happened, I wouldn't
Yeah.
be surprised at
Yeah.
all. I
Yeah,
wouldn't be
also-
surprised.
Something else I just thought about with the Frank Reich ordeal, in that situation, he was there in Philly with Carson Wentz and Nick Foles. He's
Yeah,
been there before.
I'm curious
And
to
what
see how
happened
Philly
there?
does this year.
Super Bowl.
I don't think Philly's going to live up to the hype, but I am curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah, that's one of those teams. They'll make the playoffs, obviously.
I will say their defense got substantially better last year, and I think that's going to translate, which makes a big difference. But I I don't know. I just don't think that they have that consistency factor.
Yeah, and again, that's one of those things I'm anxious to see.
I want to say something to these Andrew Luck people. I made a post and I said, like, yeah, it kind of screwed us over.
The timing was bad. Yeah.
So I want to say, you motherfuckers out there that are all like, respect his family, this and that. We fucking know that. It's not about that he retired. Okay. It's not the fact he retired. The timing of it, I definitely think there was some play, like whether the organization told him to do it. I think that there was a play to say, don't do it yet. We need to sell these season tickets. And he went along with it because in his press conference alone, he says, I knew I was going to do this a couple weeks ago. He flat out says that.
See, I wonder, and this plays into his character a lot, so maybe I'm wrong, but I wonder if it's like, have you ever quit a job and you just wait till, like, you're going to quit for like a month or two, and you're just like waiting for the opportune moment that's going to fuck them the worst because you really can't stand the way you've been treated? Have you ever done that?
And I don't even, I know what you
You've
mean.
never left a job at like just like,
I know what you mean.
If
yeah,
I'm
it's
ready
like
to,
a last fuck you for
I
being treated like
understand
shit.
it, but when I'm ready to go, I go.
But
Oh no, I'll wait.
Even though I've been,
I'll be petty
you
as hell about it.
motherfuckers that were all,
I just did it like a month
Shocked.
ago. I just waited until they were screwed.
there were so many people that are like, the timing's best for him and his family and this and that. Like, okay, shut the fuck up.
Dude.
I get it, but it's the optics of the situation are fucking terrible.
That
Those
is
are
my
the thing.
least
It's
favorite
it rubs me
part
wrong.
of professional sports is how involved the fans are and the media is in their personal life.
Yeah.
I don't give two fucks.
that's celebrities in general.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, same thing like the Bill Clinton thing we talked about. I don't give a shit who's sucking his dick as long as he's doing his job.
Let the man get a beach.
It's not about the money and this and that.
Now, certain things
Why
like
do you
I
keep
can
the
understand,
25
like
mil?
like when Ray
You
Rice
did keep
knocked.
money.
It's hush money.
How do you feel about that?
It's hush money. I'm telling you,
I
because they
No,
signed.
it's,
They
it's
signed.
retirement money.
They
Is what
signed
it
a
is.
non-disclosure agreement.
He kept
Did you
his
see that?
pension.
What, like, I think it's in Casey, because honestly, I really don't think Andrew Luck's permanently retired. I think he will come back to the league. I don't think there's any chance he's retired.
As a quarterback or in some other way,
No, as a
He's
wide
as an active
receiver.
player. Well, I'm just saying, like,
No, I'm
you
with
know,
you.
as a coach
Yeah,
or
yeah,
some
front
facet
office.
like
no,
that.
he's definitely coming back. To
I'm actually
play.
surprised Peyton Manning never came back in that type of role yet.
He just doesn't want to at the moment. I think he will.
I'm sure
but-
he's waiting until his kids get older, but
Do you guys-
I can't wait for that because honestly, his football IQ is so high.
Do you guys have any theories regarding the Andrew Luck?
Yeah.
Tell me. I want to hear it.
So I
He's
think
going to be in Miami in 2
I
years.
think he found out with the calf thing or whatever that's going on that he needed maybe another surgery or something, and he just flat out didn't want to have to go through the surgery and the rehab again. So they were like, the Colts organization said, we need you to get this surgery done and come back as quick as you can. And he's thinking, I don't want to fucking go through that. If I just ride this out, it could heal without having to do surgery, but you won't let me do that because you need me to return immediately. So guess what? I will retire. I'll take a vacation for a year or two. I'll let my body heal naturally without having to go through an extensive rehab
Sure.
process and surgery. So I think he just wanted to do it under his
Out
own
of the spotlight.
time,
Also, right?
under his own time, under his own demands, because the organization would have been telling him, we need you to get this surgery and rehab and come back quickly. And that's definitely what I think happened is he said, I'm going to do it on my own time. I'm going to heal. I'm going to take even a mental break, and then he will come back to the league. And the reason I think the Colts paid him that $25 million is because they think there's a really good chance he's going to come back.
and finish his contract.
And if like they were like, fuck you, we're not giving you the $25 million, well, then he would have basically come back and said, fuck you. Like we own his rights, but he could have said, I'm not going to play for
And that's
you.
a good theory because Jim Irsay has said openly since
right.
that the door is open and he's not certain that
He's
Andrew
not
Luck is
retired.
starting.
My
Yes.
opinion
not.
is
okay.
twofold.
Yeah, I like that.
One, I think that Pat McAfee set a precedent when he retired the way he did, and it made sense. And once everybody was really sad about it, but when you start getting into the details, like he had 4 knee surgeries in like 3 years, and he was young. I get that.
And that sucks.
Yeah, I mean that sucks, and I understand like preserving your body and preserving like your future health, instead of taking money. Like that guy is loaded. Andrew Luck has millions of dollars, but I think the second part of it, I think it was more mental. I think being injured and having to go through all that and not being able to play a game that he has enjoyed for the majority of his life, now it's become a chore. And I think it just
Sure.
I think he got in his own head, and he needs time to clear his head out.
I don't think he loves football. I think he's a football player because I never heard him once say that in
I've
his
heard
thing.
that phrase. I think
I like he's kind of
I think
a
that was
happy,
his hobby. I mean, that was his
but he
passion.
doesn't love football. He's just a football
I think
player,
he
a
did
guy
love
who
football.
I don't think he did. It's just my opinion, of course, but I
Yeah,
never heard him
you'll know
mention
it.
it. I never heard him say like, I love the game, and that's sure that doesn't mean that
I
I'm
remember
right,
him
but
saying that like when he got
I mean,
drafted.
it's a team
and his-
effort. You know, we
yeah.
got a lot of good
I,
guys.
I just think it was more than just a job for him. I think
Yeah.
he really did enjoy it on a core level.
So I think it's a little bit deeper than just the injury, the rehab, the pain that he said over and over in his pressers. So he mentioned a couple of times that he was in a pretty dark place mentally.
Yeah.
I think it could be part of an opioid problem.
He's
So-
a drug addict.
No. Well, it could
Or-
happen to
or from the
anybody
rehab,
because
sure.
of the painkillers and stuff that
Yeah,
he's
he's got to do it.
He's
So,
definitely
Didn't Jim
had
Irsay
to
say
take
that?
them.
correct.
Like you don't,
So
if
I
you're
don't
getting
think
surgeries like that, like on your fucking rotator cuff and shit or whatever,
Shit
or
hurts.
shoulder,
Is that how
like,
Jim Irsay got
you
started?
gotta.
no.
You
He's
do,
an addict.
you do have to
Was
like,
an addict. Love you, Jim.
subside the pain. And
yeah,
I'm sure
especially in
he-
Indiana where you
had
can't
to
smoke
deal with
weed.
that.
So I mean, let's back at 2017 when he was off. Like, remember how skinny he got?
Oh yeah,
Like he was thin. So
yeah, because he was sitting
part
on
of
his ass all day.
part of my theory is not that he was just an addict and all that,
Um,
but I think that we're all susceptible to addiction
like
in
happened
some
to
form.
Brett Favre.
Especially with opioids.
And I think, yeah, exactly. It's the easiest thing to slip into, especially if you're dealing with the rehab and the injuries and this and that. So I think that probably, he's saying he's got to take himself out of that,
the whole
um,
environment.
the thing.
Yeah.
I think the only way that he could, because he's a family man, where that's very clear. I think the only way in his mind to get away from not just the pain, the rehab, that sort of track he was on, but the painkillers, to get away from that, he had to step away from the game entirely.
I think
That's my theory.
I think just football left a bad taste in his mouth with get all these
Yeah, why
injuries and
wouldn't it?
stuff. Yeah.
I'm surprised there's not a hit on Grigson's life right now. This is all his fault, basically.
Well, okay, I have
If
thoughts on that
If we had
too.
Oakland fans, it'd be different.
I have thoughts on that too because everybody's
would be
saying
good.
blame the right person, blame Grigson and blame Pagano.
Pagano, yeah.
Okay, yeah, he was a terrible drafter and he didn't do a lot
They just abuse the
draft.
shit out of him too.
He didn't do a lot to draft an O-line and protect him.
Yeah.
But I feel that Andrew Luck is truly just as responsible because, dude, he was trying to run fucking linebackers
wild, man.
over.
He did take a lot of
He
hits. He
didn't
probably shouldn't
drop.
have.
So this is what he should have done. And so they're not going to draft the line. They're not going to help him.
Yeah, well, he went after Philip Dorsett instead of an offensive line.
What he
Come
should have
on.
done is realize that situation, assess the situation. You went to Stanford, use your brain, and get down. Use the Manning strategy. Like, dude, just like nobody's gonna blame you for just falling to the ground, but like he was so like gotta get it. Like,
Yeah, I really
he
think
tried
that's
to
like
literally run dudes over.
I
He's
like
just as responsible.
it's like
Agreed.
it's the rookie syndrome. He wanted to win so bad right out of the gate that he didn't realize that putting himself at risk could potentially end his career early. I think a lot of people
Yeah.
have done. We've seen that happen to a lot of players.
Fuck, look at our early 20s.
Yeah, Matt can't even run anymore. His knees are so
Yeah,
bad.
no.
I saw him get out of his car the other day and he cried.
I think we drank so much when we were younger that I can't hardly read anymore either.
Oh yeah, my liver's done.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's been done for a minute.
Yeah.
My liver looks like Andrew Luck's spleen.
Will you knock it off?
I can't
Leave him
stop.
alone.
I
He's
really
doing
can't
what's
stop.
best for him and his family.
I mean, good for him.
I've
He's
heard that
at the end
so
of the day,
many
he's
times.
at the end of the day, he's a millionaire. So we can go fuck
Yeah,
ourselves.
he's
but-
fine. But I truly he will be back in the league.
Are we getting some opinions over there? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's Eric. He's been saying some stuff, and he said he agreed with like what
Everything I've said?
no, it was with what I said.
Oh, shock.
No, but no,
I
he
got
said
my
he
mic turned
agreed
off.
with the general thing about Andrew Luck, like having the 3 injuries and wanting to kind of do it on his own, under his own terms.
Yeah, it's a strong theory. I've not really
It's
heard
gotta
that one
it's
yet.
gotta be hard to recover in the spotlight too. Like,
Yeah.
the pressure is high.
Especially
and-
with, I mean, if
That's
you're the kind of
stressful.
guy that you're so like, a lot of those like Antonio Brown, those kind of guys, they love the spotlight.
Yeah, that's something
But
we need to talk
this dude
about.
still
too.
has a flip phone and he's not on
Right.
social media. He does not care about the
here's
spotlight.
here's an
He just
Antonio
gets it.
Brown
What's-
thing.
yeah, what's the
Here's a
update on
theory.
that?
So here's something
He's
I
got his
heard.
helmet. He's good.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, they had a
Well-
custom helmet made.
Well, get this. So they're on Hard Knocks, right? And one of the things I heard, the whole Antonio Brown thing, and obviously, yes, he wanted his helmet, but to an extent, the Raiders organization blew that up to
Generate
draw attention away from their other players and because the Hard Knocks is going on, there's cameras
Sure.
around, there's all that. So they knew Antonio Brown, like he likes the spotlight, he can
And he's
handle it.
gonna perform.
So it was like a ploy
Yeah.
to keep the attention on him and away from their other
So Gruden
players.
could
So
actually
they
teach
could
this
actually
team how to-
focus and
yeah.
grow. Like that was, and I was like, that kind of makes sense. Like, yeah, he wants to be let's make them look over here and let's get our shit together over here.
Outside of the Colts, the Raiders have been my biggest letdown the last 2-3 years.
Yeah, the whole
They really should be so much better than they have been.
I like Derek Carr kind of. I think
I think he's a great quarterback.
great is not a
Given
word I
the
would
I
right,
don't know,
use.
given the
man.
right
I
opportunity.
used
Look
to.
at that team when they had nothing, and he
What did
was
they
still.
accomplish?
I mean, they weren't doing great, but
Look-
he was doing pretty good individually.
Look what happens when his receivers leave. Like Amari Cooper blew up, and
Michael
when
Crabtree.
Crabtree, that's what I was getting ready to say. Like
yeah,
when people leave, his receivers like they do great when they're not.
and
with
that was when their O line was still trash. I mean, who was their running back that year?
Marshawn?
No, it was
It was
Murray.
Marshawn.
No,
Oh,
the-
Latavius
yeah,
Murray.
Latavius Murray that one year, and they still had a pretty good season. They just haven't. I just don't think they've lived up to the hype. And last year was obviously fucking a trash fire.
It'll be cool when they get in Vegas. I think it'll be cool to have a.
It's
Vegas
gonna be an
team.
Look how many
Attraction.
fucking draft picks they had. They have to
Yeah.
get better.
Josh Jacobs will be solid. And Gruden's definitely going to utilize the shit out of a running back, fresh legs, a nice power back. Like I think he'll fit in great there.
Can you imagine being a new millionaire at 20 years old living in Vegas in the
Oh
spotlight?
my god, I would die.
I'd be dead.
I'd
yeah.
be. You know how much weird shit I would do if I had that much money.
I know how much
Yeah,
weird shit
out
you
of
do
control.
with no money.
That's what I'm saying. Another person I think, depending on how the season plays out, is Tony Pollard, the Cowboys' backup running back.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
He's good though. You don't like him?
When Zeke gets there, he's not even a fucking thought. And
That's my
Zeke
thing though. I
will
think
be
I think
there.
he could start anywhere else though.
Zeke
not
will
anywhere
be
else, but-
there.
Yeah.
Like they can't afford to go the entire season and wait till the like.
I don't
hope
think
to
that'll
make
be the case. But
playoffs.
if you have someone like Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard that you can rotate, like Zeke's always going to have fresh legs.
Can we all agree that Dak sucks?
I don't know. I have mixed feelings about that.
I think he's just middle
think-
of the road, like average as it
I
gets.
agree.
I wouldn't
I
say
think
Everyone,
his,
sucks,
everyone is
but-
on his nuts.
his
and I don't
ceiling is
understand.
really high though. I think he's a decent passer.
we've
He's
seen
got
him at
good
his
legs, but I mean maybe.
Yeah, I think
I just don't think he gets any better than what we've already seen.
yeah, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
I don't know how much growth there is. I'm kind of on board with that.
I wish they would have kept T.O. one more year. I was curious to see him play with that guy, but
Yeah, the dude doesn't even show up for his Hall of Fame induction.
That was-
He's not coming.
he
back
don't give
for
a
another
fuck.
year.
That was super long. That was during the Romo days. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a while back.
I'm curious.
then
to
he went-
see.
But he did go to the Bengals after the fact and like did all right. He did
He's
have,
a great wide receiver
Yeah,
for all
but he
intents and
was old as
purposes, but
shit
Yeah,
at the
old as
Bengals.
fuck.
but
Probably one of the strongest wide receivers. I've
Yeah,
I
ever
loved
seen,
him when
though.
he was in Philly.
Oh my
he's
god.
a freak
Loved
athlete.
T.O. in Philly.
Yeah.
I mean, he was like the sole reason in that Super Bowl that they even
Yeah.
hung around. Man, he played on like the fractured leg too. That was pretty fucking impressive.
I think another team to watch this year is going to be Kansas City.
Was that back when they
that
had
goes without saying though.
that Philly team? Sorry to go back a little bit.
No, you're
Was
fine.
that back when they had like Brian Dawkins and Lito Shepard? Was that same team?
I'm pretty sure
It was
Dawkins
the same
was
year,
around
like
yeah.
that 2-3 year period. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
'Cause their defense used
Who was
to be
their
killer.
quarterback then? It was
Donovan McNabb.
yeah,
Yeah,
McNabb.
yeah.
Always look for that camera, man.
Yeah, God love him.
That was funny as hell every week.
Anyway, you
I-
talk about Chiefs.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people have. I mean, I think the general opinion is
they're
Kansas
what
City is going to be great again.
Sure.
easily.
I'm curious to see now that everyone knows how they play and what they're about, the adjustments that are made to play against
Yeah.
because they did have some fuck up games
Sure.
last year where defenses just shut
Yeah.
them out, shut them down.
Their defense
Shut
was
them out, but
31st in the league last year.
Makes a
Fucking
huge difference.
Still did what they did.
Yeah.
And I think Pat Mahomes is good. Like
He's the guy.
He can't throw. I don't know that. I'm not gonna say he can't. I don't think he'll throw 50 touchdowns again because there's the film on him. But I don't think he's
He'll be
gonna
high
really
40s.
regress.
I bet he'll still be high 40s, 47.
He's got a bunch of those, and I'm always hard.
There's only
I think
10 quarterbacks. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt,
Sure.
but I heard this today. There's only 10 quarterbacks that have thrown 40 touchdowns or more ever. That's crazy,
impressive,
isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah,
There's
but
only
you think
10.
about like those like franchise score like Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Those guys played for 15 fucking seasons.
No, this is just in a season.
No, I know. I'm saying
Oh,
I'm
okay.
saying like the
Yeah.
number of new quarterbacks you get every
But
year.
that's
You don't have
there was that
those guys
fa-
don't emerge very often.
there was that period there where like Manning like threw 50 and then Brady threw 51 or
Yeah.
whatever, and
Yeah,
like
I remember that.
Dan Marino's got to be one of those dudes.
Yeah.
But it seems like there'd be more that would throw 40, but I guess 40 is a lot.
That's a lot of
I
time.
You
mean,
have
until
16 games.
until like what 5-6 years ago, it was a very run heavy
Mhm.
league. I mean, a
Well,
long time
early
ago, it was very
2000s.
pass heavy.
Is when that started picking up.
Right,
the pass
Tiki
game.
Barber and some of those guys were playing. It was really run heavy
Yeah.
though.
Edgerrin, Ricky Williams, all
Yeah.
Deuce
Yeah, that's-
McAllister, remember him?
Yeah.
Ricky Williams
Saints.
is
Yep.
easily my favorite NFL player of all
I
time.
love it.
I fucking love that crazy son of a
And he's
bitch.
just living his best life right now.
Did he? So have you seen that documentary? They did a 30 for 30
Run,
on
Ricky,
him.
run.
Run.
Yeah,
Ricky
where
Run,
he. So he set all of those records at Miami. Lived in a goddamn tent in the outback in
Mhm.
Australia for like 18 months. Came back and had the whole contract thing. Had to go back to Miami. He broke his single season running record that year.
He's a wild man.
That is fucking insane.
Yeah,
He's lived in a
incredible.
tent for 18 months, and then Colin Kaepernick. If you ever hear this, take notes from that fucking
If
guy.
you're ever playing NFL 2K5
Oh,
on
yeah.
PlayStation,
Unstoppable.
triangle is the truck button. You're not takes
You're
more than one
getting there.
man. Oh yeah.
Did this is somewhat related, but so on September 1st, which is this Sunday, the sports gambling becomes completely legal
In Indiana?
So like
Yeah.
I know Shelbyville, Indiana Grand, you can go in and do the sports book, and they have the mobile betting, so you can just get the Caesars app
We
on
don't
your
have to call our
phone
bookie anymore.
and do you
You don't
just
have
do
a
a
book.
Oh, we did for a while.
Do a
For like a
mobile
couple
app.
years, we were going through this bookie.
I had done some of the websites that were literally the website's called MyBookie.
Mm.
And they have it's overseas and shit, but like to withdraw your money, you have to pay insane fees and to
We were-
upload. You have to have so much before you can even withdraw it. So it's going to be so nice to just go
I think-
cash a ticket.
I want to say it was like
Yeah.
it was like
When was
4 maybe 5 years ago. Me and Chad and like Travis. Travis was calling that fucking guy and calling our bets in.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was wild. It felt like we were stealing. It was wonderful.
But, like that's the kind of shit you hear about.
Nothing
and,
new
like
for you?
dude's going to show up with a
Hey,
bat and
I'm
break
a lot
your,
of things. I'm
break
not
your
deep.
fucking knuckles if you don't pay up.
Right.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of movies and
I'm
betting and gambling terrifies me.
I'm big into the sports bets, so I need to look at the lines again, but I'm definitely going to go if the San Francisco and Tampa Bay line is still San Francisco like a 1-point underdog. I think I'm going to go throw some on San Francisco.
I'm curious to watch Chicago play too. That defense is so good.
Yeah, it's number one fantasy.
You know what?
defense so far.
I was actually thinking about this earlier today. If I go put $100 on the Colts winning the Super Bowl, imagine.
don't.
Oh my god.
Imagine. I'd be a
Yeah.
rich man. You'd
What
never
was
see
that?
me
The
again.
guy that bet on the race, the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be that situation
There,
all over
there
again.
was the dude earlier in the year that bet Tiger to win the Masters.
yeah.
He bet 80,000 and won like 1.3 million.
Yeah, that was wild.
And damn,
I mean, why not just throw a couple bucks at it and see if something
I'm
sticks?
pretty
Yeah,
sure
fuck
the
it.
Colts dropped to like 30-1,
Yeah,
something like that. I think I saw that. So yeah, if you bet
You-
100, you're winning.
Here's my thing. I know I talked a lot of shit about our bet about the AFC South, and Houston's definitely winning that now.
Maybe.
I don't know.
man.
I think it's still a toss up. I
so.
talked all that shit before Lamar Miller went out, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I think it's still within the realm of
I think it's close, and I think Jacksonville's in the running in some form or fashion. You have to
Well,
count.
now they have a
You have
decent
to think about them. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Nick
that team-
Foles can be like
that team. Their
The old
defense
Nick
was number
Foles,
1 2 years
but
ago. Jalen Ramsey
they
is
don't have
incredible.
Doug Peterson. Like that offense was unique as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
like fit him well. They set him up for success. And like I forget Jacksonville's coach, but they're definitely. I think he's a defensive oriented coach. He's like it'd be like having Chuck Pagano try to call the plays for him. It's just
We all saw
not
how
the
that
right
worked.
mind. It's not. Most all teams have an offensive coach now. Like that's where the league's
That's
at.
true. That's taking a big
Yeah.
shift.
That's
yeah.
That's
That's
how
sports
it goes.
in general. Everybody wants to see points and scoring and all that. NBA
Yeah, I mean,
same
it's
way.
like what we were talking
Everything
about.
is
It's an
very-
entertainment
Sure.
industry at the core of it. Like you look at the way the rules are
The-
tailored and everything.
Yeah.
It's for
Yeah.
big plays. They want to see
exactly
that
right.
stuff.
Everything's against the defense.
Same thing like like in the NBA. It's the same way. I want to see LeBron jam the fucking ball every time if I can.
He said Titans are winning the division.
Oh,
They
they
have
don't-
the
don't-
worst chance.
They don't have Chris Johnson anymore.
I defended you earlier, and now I'm not so sure.
Titans I think they're the fourth spot. I think they're but dude,
They're always an X factor.
They're the armpit.
They're always
of
an
the
X
AFC
factor,
South.
though.
But to the point, I thought that last year, dude, and they were one game away
Yeah,
against
they
the
made a
Colts from
comeback.
being in the playoffs. So Who knows?
That's what I'm saying. They've
I just don't
consistently been
trust-
an X
Is
factor.
Mariota going to lose
I don't
his job?
trust him.
Yeah, see, I don't like him
I
either.
don't trust Marcus Mariota.
I think he's really
Who's the
inconsistent.
backup? Lose the job to
Dude,
who?
I was just. It is gone in my head.
It's
I
not
was
Charlie
just
Batch, so I
right
don't care.
I'll look it up.
Yeah,
That was
look
my
it up.
Do you? Is he been in the league a while?
God. I was just watching their preseason week 3, and Mariota is garbage. But who is
Eh,
back? Cannot.
While I'm looking
this.
this up, has anybody got a Popeye's chicken sandwich yet?
No, and
I have
apparently
not.
To wait.
Yeah,
Dude, I can't believe I
Yeah.
posted that the other day. I was like, I'm giving in. I'm going to get the
And
chicken
everybody
sandwich.
shit
And
on
they're
it.
sold
Right
out.
away, everybody's like, sold the fuck
Get
out.
fucked.
Like, what the fuck? They're
Back
so-
to Chick-fil-A.
how you selling chicken and you don't have any chicken sandwiches?
Right.
left?
I told Ben I'm not a religious person, but I eat
I'm
Chick-fil-A
sure.
at least once a year in case I die that year. So if heaven's real, I'm still good.
Dude,
It's
if you
pretty good idea.
It-
if you
it's
open-
baptism by grease.
if you opened a Chick-fil-A in this town, you would fucking kill it.
Mhm.
You would
I'm surprised
kill
there
it.
isn't
Park
one here.
Chapel,
They-
in Greenfield.
I-
They have Chick-fil-A inside their church on Wednesdays. You can go buy it.
I've looked it
Oh,
up,
shit.
starting a franchise, and they require a shit ton of capital. Before
Oh
you
yeah, I'm
even
sure.
start
Most of
on-
them are like that because I looked at starting
There-
at Buffalo
there's a-
Wild Wings before this one opened. This was like 7-8 years ago.
Theirs is super stringent. Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
I didn't realize Miami got rid of him.
Yeah, they didn't have a
No,
choice on that one.
And then Logan Woodside is
Yeah,
the third string.
Tannehill. I think Tannehill could get that job from Mariota.
So who's
easily.
Miami's starting
The
quarterback?
dude
Fitz
from-
Magic, baby.
Oh, really?
And
The
then
beard?
Yeah.
what's his name? They got traded from Arizona. Rosen is the backup.
Who also?
I was-
sucks.
He could
I always
maybe
want to
take the
like
job, though.
Fitzpatrick, and then he does great for like 6 games, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, that's why no one signed him again."
I love Fitz Magic.
I do too, but
He's
he's
hilarious.
just
also.
not consistent.
He
One of-
trademarked
One of 3
Fitzmagic.
quarterbacks to have
So you owe him money for saying that on our
Yeah,
show.
come
one
get it.
of
Come
3
get it.
quarterbacks to
Sue
have
me.
7 touchdowns in a single game. Him, Nick Foles, and some.
He
fuck
has
from
those
way
games
back
like
in the
that,
day.
dude, where he just goes off, but then he has
Just
the complete
clicks.
shitters.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, he reminds me of Joe Flacco.
It's like
It's all or
you
nothing.
get the two
Joe
extremes.
Flacco.
I-
sucks.
When I think of Joe
Except
Flacco,
when he doesn't.
I think of I don't think of that.
Except when he has Anquan.
I don't
Bolden.
think of like really good and really bad.
Crabtree.
I think of the most just middle of the road motherfucker you could.
See,
He is the definition of average.
I
I'd agree with
went
you.
and looked back at that because I drafted him one year. If he has a good first drive, like if his first quarter is at least decent, he is one of the best one of the best quarterbacks at the time. Top 5 every time in those
When?
games.
So he's a momentum guy.
In those games, yeah, exactly. If he started slow,
Charge
he
up
could
his
never
special.
get his feet underneath.
They've
him.
he always has been known for having a good arm and a good deep.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great long
Yeah.
ball.
Oh, he's gonna rock.
They just if they took that away from him, if he had poor momentum in the first
Well,
quarter, he never recovered.
Now he's starting in Denver, dude, and he has.
Denver sucks.
That's
He
where
has,
quarterbacks go to retire.
but
right?
Yeah.
But with Denver, like
Has
they
been.
always are in that weird situation where it's like just not all the pieces are there, but they have a really good defense. If Philip Lindsay could do what he did last year, and then Emmanuel Sanders still produces, and they have Sutton on the other
I'm
side.
always on the fence
never
about
know.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Whatever
He's
happened,
fine.
he's been like consistent
Yeah,
as
he's
fuck,
good.
man. He's been really consistent. Even last year, I was surprised because I
Consistently
thought
pretty good.
the same
lately,
thing. I
he's
was like, I
above
haven't
average.
heard much about him, but then I looked at him, dude, and he was really actually
Still
pretty
doing it.
solid. Whatever happened to the fucking tight end that broke out in Denver
Julius
with
Thomas.
whatever the fuck happened to him,
He,
dude?
he
went
went to
to
Jacksonville,
Jacksonville.
I know
and
that,
then
but-
didn't do
and
shit.
then that's it.
Is he
Well, yeah,
still
well,
there?
Blake Bortles ruined his career. Too.
Absolutely.
Is he still there?
He dropped a lot of passes
I don't
that year
think so.
too.
Because dude, he was like the perfect specimen for a tight end.
Yeah.
Just super
He was
super tall.
he was
big,
just
strong.
a little bit too slow, I think. And he at least at Jacksonville, he dropped a
But you
lot
don't
of
have
passes.
to. You don't have to be fast to be a tight. Because look at Jason Witten. He's
Yeah.
made a career
true.
out of being
Gronk.
just
So I read some.
In
Did you guys see this?
space.
Jason Witten was coming out of retirement.
yeah.
Yeah, he's back on team.
He's
God,
on
I hope
Dallas,
he makes
man.
it.
I didn't like him in the booth anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
absolutely
gonna
not.
say.
Yeah.
Like as long as he's
not
not
Tony Romo.
on the football commentating, I'm for it.
I think in the
I
last
think-
5
did
minutes
Pat-
I've said he sucks. Or they suck.
Did Pat McAfee? Did he take
Thursday night football.
Witten's? Was it his job?
I think he's
spec-
calling college football. I don't know if it's Thursday. night
I
NFL
read somewhere
football.
that he's doing Thursday night.
I
with,
think it's gonna be college ball.
I don't know, that was a couple weeks ago when I saw that.
Yeah.
So
I
shit
know he's
changes every
doing
day.
college for sure because I heard him talking on one of the podcasts how he gets to call one of the West Virginia games,
Mhm.
It's like might be West Virginia and Virginia Tech or
Prime time boy.
some decent game, and
Yeah.
he gets to call it. And he was pretty excited about that.
He's so funny in the booth. So funny.
He's
Just in general, he's funny as
Have you guys
hell.
invited him
Very
on the podcast yet?
No.
Very
no.
No, hey, if you're listening, we would
He's
love to
not.
have you on. He does his own podcast too, which is pretty cool.
Oh, does he?
You didn't know?
Yeah,
You-
obviously.
I was
did,
like,
man. Jesus
shit.
Christ.
Yeah.
Father.
Well, okay, not
Yeah.
everyone.
Well, Fada said it.
You
You
fuck.
responded. I was like, holy shit! You never seen the McAfee? That McAfee show,
Yeah.
bro? Never seen it?
He just did something with Matt Hasselbeck. They went. I
Yeah.
can't remember where they went, but did you watch all that?
Yeah. Did they?
Oh, it was in
they call
it was
it
in
Baylor?
Cincinnati.
I think they called a Baylor game together.
It was in
Something.
Oh,
Cincinnati.
they're I think UCLA's playing right now because before you got here, we were
Colts are
looking.
playing right now.
Are we?
Yeah.
It's
Who they
weird.
playing?
Nobody cares.
What is your problem?
Well, it's a preseason game.
Playing Cincinnati. They suck.
Cincy. Oh yeah, because we play Cincinnati the last preseason game, and then we play them the first game of the season.
That's weird.
That's
back
a
to
fucking
back.
weird turnaround. Like nobody's gonna call any plays. Like you're gonna save the playbook.
Yeah. Bubble wrap all the way around Jacoby Brissett.
Absolutely.
Don't even
He's not
look at
playing.
it.
Yeah, you know,
I
we
can't-
thought they were gonna do that with Andrew Luck, and
I can't imagine that he's gonna
God,
play.
piss
Right?
off.
There's no way.
Okay, Colts are up 7-3.
yeah, Brissett.
Chad Kelly, 13 for 16.
There you go.
138 yards.
Against
Is that
the
a Notre
third
Dame?
string.
Who cares?
Is that your
man?
Notre
He's third
Dame?
string, too. No.
Chad
Chad Kelly
Kelly?
went to Ole Miss. He called
Oh, who
himself
am I thinking
Swag
of?
Kelly.
He
had a
actually-
rap
he
song. I
w-
hated him. in
He went
college.
to Clemson before it was transfer.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't think he did much, but yeah, he was a transfer and then redshirted. I mean, Clemson, dude. I think the
He was
Yeah,
like-
he's got the best job in the NFL
He was like
right now.
Chad in college. Gave himself nicknames and
Clemson and Alabama are like the elite of the elite, and I think Clemson's kind of edged them out.
Yeah,
over the last couple.
Alabama just lost somebody to injury. I can't remember who it was, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, Alabama's always going to have just
Are you seeing
the best recruits, but Clemson, like their program and their offense,
I think
Dabo Swinney's
I
got
think
something
their head
going.
coach.
I love Dabo.
I think their head coach makes more than Nick Saban now too.
Dabo
He,
Swinney.
did-
Yeah.
he signed a he
Yeah, I think
signed a
he's the number
10-year
one paid
he signed-
college.
he signed a 10-year, $10 million a year contract.
That's strong.
It's
Or I think it
crazy.
was $9 million a year. Excuse me. I think he's
The
set to make
optional kicker.
he's set to make $90 million because it was like comparable to the Gruden contract almost, and he's coaching college football.
Have,
That was
insane.
it was a
Have-
big deal.
have you guys seen this
10 years.
tank for Tua?
Stupid
thing?
as fuck.
I
It's
hate
bullshit.
Tua
I
Tagovailoa.
haven't seen that.
I don't hate.
I don't
him.
even like
I
his
just don't think he's
name.
very good.
It's not.
He sucks.
Get that shit out. He got
He
benched.
sucks.
He got benched in the title game last year.
Yeah.
Get that shit out of here.
No, why do we want to? No, I'm out.
There's no tanking.
I want to
for
see
Tua.
Metcalf play too this
DK
year.
Metcalf is
He's a
monster.
freak.
Yeah,
He's a physical specimen, but is Doug Baldwin hurt still?
I don't think so.
'Cause,
I
dude-
almost gave you an answer. I'm not sure of. I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't seen
him.
him getting drafted, dude. That's why I bring that up. I
I mean,
haven't
it's
seen
also
Doug Baldwin.
Doug
I didn't see Doug
Baldwin.
Baldwin going any
Doug
mocks or anything.
Baldwin.
So I think he might be hurt. Tyler Lockett's super
Lockett's
solid
been
though.
really
Yeah,
But
I
he's a
actually just I
slot.
traded for him.
He's a slot. So
I've been trying to get people in my 2 leagues to trade with me.
I think-
Nobody,
No,
will do
and
it,
people are stingy as fuck about trading.
which is fine because I have
in
the best
fantasy football.
roster. on both
Dude,
leagues.
you know who else is gonna have another great year? Is fucking Adam Thielen.
You think?
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude, he's
yeah.
a freak.
All right.
He'll
Look at
he'll
did
be
you
top.
see what
No,
he
I know
did
he's- I'm
last
not
year?
doubting
Last
his
year was
greatness.
But
incredible.
I think he'll be top 10 easy.
Yeah. He's good. I like
Him and
Thielen.
Diggs are.
I just
sick
never
combo.
expected
That is
that. I never expected
nasty.
I had
Thielen to be
Diggs
that
last
guy.
year.
You know
I didn't
what
either.
mean? I don't think anybody did really, but
No, until he was.
he's fun to watch.
Yeah.
He came out of nowhere too. I think he went to like Kansas State or something.
Yeah, didn't somebody get hurt too? He wasn't even like starting at
as
one
a
point.
as a caveat, when you said Adam Thielen, for whatever reason, my mind went to Cooper Cup. And
Oh.
that's where I was like,
Oh,
coming at it.
what
Well,
the hell?
he's
Yeah.
coming off that knee injury. So
Yeah, I
so,
can
you know,
see-
So that's why.
But
I
yeah,
had
Thielen's like
You're right,
no
Adam Thielen. I'm
question,
with you.
top 10,
Yeah, he's
easy,
great.
easy.
Yeah, I like watching him play.
He gets a lot of receptions. He gets a lot of yards. He
That
gets
offense-
touchdowns. Does it all, dude.
If Dalvin Cook could stay healthy, the
Oh
Vikings
my God,
could
yeah.
be
they could be so good.
terrifying.
Yeah, their
He's-
defense is really
he-
good.
he's
Is
only
Kirk
played-
Cousins still quarterback in there?
Yeah,
He
Cook-
sucks.
Cook's
Yeah, I
only
never was a
played-
fan of Kirk Cousins.
Cook's
You
only
like that?
he's only played 13 games in his career though, over 2 seasons.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's hurt
He's only played 13 games
God,
ever. So
but he's
it's-
so good.
when he's healthy.
When
That-
he's healthy,
that offense is
every time
so
every time I hear Dalvin Cook, it always follows up
Fucking,
with,
it's Bob
"If he
Sanders.
stays healthy." Yeah,
that offense is so run heavy though.
I saw.
It's not like your typical. They do pass a lot, but they want to run the ball, and it's definitely built on kind of the older style football.
Mhm.
We're gonna run the ball and we're gonna have good defense.
So that's standard,
Yeah.
traditional. I saw a stat the
Very
other day.
Chicago Bears.
We were talking about. I just
Chicago.
mentioned Bob Sanders. When Bob Sanders was on the field, the Colts won 80% of the games they played. When Bob Sanders was off the field, especially like that last year, they only won like 32% of the games.
He's a bad man.
Talk about impact player.
Yeah.
That guy was a freak.
Football
he
was a
pretty strong.
different sport then, dude. Like
Yeah,
when
you
you
kill
could
people.
just headhunt. I remember when I played football in high school, it was like that. Like you were told to do that. Like
Oh, yeah,
fucking crown.
this is a goddamn
Yeah.
contact sport.
Like fucking lean your helmet down and fucking crown them like in the chin and take their head off. Like
Yeah.
you were told
Now
do
that's
that.
bad for you.
you can't.
yeah.
You
might
can
go to
get
jail.
ejected.
Something
Alright.
else I've
Damn
got
near go to
sorry.
jail.
Something
Alright.
else I have to clear up real quick. When I was on the show last time, we were talking about old Colts safeties, and I said Jarvis Landry, and I was like, I can't think of his name. LaRon Landry is who I was
Yeah.
thinking of.
Layron.
And dude, his arms.
Jarvis
were
Landry probably wouldn't be a bad
gigantic.
safety though.
Maybe not.
He's soft. He's a little wide receiver diva, but you never know.
Yeah.
I saw that. I also saw that OJ Simpson was talking about his fantasy squad. So OJ
got
he took Luck, and Luck retired an hour afterwards.
I did
And
see
people
that.
were like, "Watch out, Luck, dude!" Because OJ was like, "Andrew, hey Twitter world, Andrew, why couldn't he always does it? Hey, Twitter, world.
you just the whole time he's like putting black leather gloves on.
Yeah." People were like, "Dude, Andrew's screwed," because he's like, "Couldn't you have waited an hour to tell me that before I took you in my fantasy draft?" So of course, OJ he went through his draft picks. He had the first pick. I wonder why.
Mhm.
It's like if OJ don't get the first pick, he's gonna fucking stab your ass.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I don't know that I would have taken Andrew Luck even before he retired with all the injury stuff coming up.
Why?
I definitely would have taken him late, if anything.
No, I'd still take
He
him.
would have been my
An-
backup quarterback, and I would have taken him way late.
Anthony Michael Isis, and he said OJ killed Andrew's career.
Oh, quit.
That's crazy.
Allegedly.
Maybe he did.
Allegedly.
Maybe he did.
Yeah.
But he
If he
so
writes
I'm
a
try-
book about it a year from now, we'll know.
I'm trying yeah,
Who,
if
Mike Lisco or
Oh,
OJ?
Yeah.
Either.
Gotcha. Yeah.
if I drafted OJ.
Put it on paper. Do it.
I'm trying to think. So he took his first pick, he took Saquon. The second pick, who did he say? I think
Was
he,
this
he,
Snake?
he took Antonio Brown.
Was it Snake?
Yeah.
10 or 12 men.
It was 10 man, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
So he took
Took
Saquon,
first,
Antonio
and then
Brown,
at the end of the
and
second.
then he took Josh Richard, the Oakland running back,
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
And then after that, I'm trying to remember.
If Josh Jacobs is healthy, or if he's good, like we think he's going to be, that could be pretty sick.
I think,
Yeah, especially in that
yeah.
offense.
Yeah.
He said he was like, I wanted to take Nick Chubb, but Antonio Brown was there.
That's another situation I'm curious to see. So Kareem Hunt is suspended for 8 games.
Mhm.
When he comes back, granted, Nick Chubb
I think
is,
they'll
for
trade
all
him.
intents and purposes, a great running back. I mean, we all saw that last year. Kareem Hunt is a great running back also.
I think they're gonna trade him.
You think so? I mean,
Mhm.
if they're honestly, if it was me, that's what I would do.
I think that or
Yeah,
I-
wait till about 4 or 5 weeks in, see who's really hurting
See
to get
who
a run
sucks,
game.
yeah.
And say, hey, in 4 weeks.
Yeah,
So
look,
this-
if Oakland doesn't play out the way they think,
Yeah.
that's going
These are my thoughts on Kareem Hunt too. I think he's a good running back. I don't think he's nearly as good as people think he is, because you give Andy Reid any running back.
That's true.
Look what Damian Williams did.
Yeah, sure.
Never had a career, blew up 6 games in there because he has such a unique offense and his designs. So I think a lot of it, not all of it, obviously you have to be
Right.
you know,
he has
good
some
to do what he
talent,
did,
Sure.
but I think a lot of it was the product of the system he was in.
You know,
I don't think
you think he's
Kareem
gonna. You think he's gonna Eric Decker himself?
I think he's gonna basically come to reality in a Brown system. I don't know, but I don't think he's good as people think he is.
I can get into that. Of course, but we don't know. It's all
I
speculation.
mean, like
so.
I said,
I'm not
just
gonna hang
look
my
at
hat on
any Reed running back. Like I don't know if he's ever not been able to produce one, and he's always known for like you know quarterbacks as well. But I mean, he's pretty much an offensive genius.
Yeah.
Was
Was Darren Sproles in Philly with Andy Reid?
He's
Or was
think-
he?
I don't
no,
know
he
if
was
he
in
was
San Diego.
still-
He was in San Diego
No, he
those
was with the
days.
Saints because he went from the Saints to Philly.
San Diego first.
Yeah, first, but
Yeah.
But
Oh no, I'm sorry. Maybe I should.
so.
He was in San Diego while Andy Reid was in Philly.
and
That's what
maybe
I
the
was saying.
Saints for a little
Okay,
bit,
right,
but
I'm with you.
definitely was in San Diego to a certain point. Yeah, for sure.
So me and Ben talked about this a while ago. Who's your Super Bowl favorite? Who do you think's winning this year?
Colts.
I mean, like
Jesus.
realistically, who do you think's winning?
So out of the AFC, it's going to be tough to not take Kansas City.
Sure.
My caveat to that is that I am never, ever, ever super high on somebody after they produced 1 year
Mhm.
of even
Absolutely.
greatness. And there's no doubt that Pat Mahomes did have a great year.
Consistency makes
It's
a big
incredible. I
difference.
applaud you for that. But I want to see it a second time.
Yeah, I agree.
Before I say, wow, he's a great fucking quarterback of all
Sure.
time. So at this point, coming out of the AFC, it's tough for me to not pick Kansas City.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they've made some, based on what you just said, it's going to be tough to not improve the defense. So even if they've improved the defense a little bit, they've got weapons
Defense
on offense.
has to get better.
They have Andy Reid, as we know.
Yeah.
Tyreek
love it.
Hill's healthy. Kels.
So
Yeah.
NFC is a little trickier for me.
It's tougher. The competition's stiffer.
I'm going
I
to
think.
say the Packers coming out of the NFC.
Wow.
No.
I'm saying it.
Rookie coach.
No, I'm telling you. Aaron
No
Rodgers with
way.
a fire in his belly. He's a bad man. Devontae, killer. They're gonna,
You talk about a team that hasn't
I don't
lived up
see
to
it.
their potential.
and their defense is going to be better than it has been in a long
Green
time.
Bay has farted on themselves for the last 4 years.
Yeah, they got stuck in
Between
some,
injuries and all the weird shit that's
they got stuck in a nasty little
That's a
cycle
bold
with,
choice.
with McCarthy.
I mean, Chicago, is that a better answer for you? Do you prefer that?
no, I'm
What do you want? You tell me what you want me to say.
no, I want you to say what
Saints.
you're gonna say. Yeah, I think the Saints are up there. They have to be
That's
up
what
there.
you
That
know,
has to be in your conversation.
Sure.
even the Rams again.
Yeah,
I have a hard time betting against Aaron Rodgers coming off of a
and I'm hesitant.
down year, but for him, it wasn't even that much of a down year. Look at the numbers.
I'm
he still had a
hesitant
pretty
to
good year.
say the Rams.
He just didn't have much help.
Too. I'm always nervous about putting the Rams in any conversation because yes, there's a ton of talent on that team, and yes, they've done incredible things in the last 2 years, but they flopped so hard at the end of the season.
God, I can read that last comment on the screen that says OJ killed Andrew Luck's career.
Yeah, Anthony. Yeah,
I hope that burns into your memory.
Yeah, my eyes are
I
burning.
think it's a great point.
No, it's not. It's stupid.
Coincidence? I think not. This is the Illuminati.
Well,
Yeah.
let's wrap this up, guys. It's almost 9 o'clock. We're just doing a short show anyway. I think we almost got an hour in.
Really?
Yeah, 51,
I don't do
52
anything
minutes.
short.
We've got some Apex to do.
Yeah, I do. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get on Apex Legends like now.
All right, let's go.
You need to
See ya.
stop running with Bangalore and maybe learn a new legend tonight.
Hey, I've got
Bangalore. I
Gibraltar.
love
I've got
Bangalore.
Caustic. I'm working with him.
Well-
I had a 5-kill day with Gibraltar the other day.
Okay.
All right.
Father, tell what's coming up Sunday. Wrap
This
this up.
Sunday we have local comedian Lisa Sears. She was just recently voted the #1 comedian in the state of Indiana, which is pretty incredible. Talking to her a little bit, she's big on fantasy football too. She's got a draft right before we do the show,
Cool.
so we'll have to talk some stuff with her about that too. But yeah, I'm pumped about that one. She's got a lot of shit going on right now, and she seems like a really interesting person that I definitely want to interview. So
I can dig it.
I'm excited for
Yeah,
that.
I'll be here. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah.
Just
We have
kidding.
some other guests coming up. Tony Foxworthy is another local comedian that we're going to have on. I'm pretty excited to talk to him about some stuff too. So a lot of good shit coming. I do want to throw this out there. We talked about on Thunderwolf about shooting guns and stuff the other day. So I got Juice in the Morning got with me, and we were going to have a gun shooting day. I think we're going to film some stuff and put it out, let everybody see what we're about.
Yeehaw.
How very American.
Just
of
living
you.
that Midwestern dream, one round at a time.
Yeah, and which is your dream exactly. You love the Midwest.
So
You live here
much.
forever.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Thanks everybody that joined on YouTube. We'll have a new episode coming Sunday.
Thanks for
Whiskey
having me,
out.
guys.
Peace.
Yeah, thanks for joining, man. Appreciate it.
Solid.
I'm about it.
In stream.